Alright, welcome back, Kanekis. I hope you're doing well. This is just going to be a chill video. I wanted to find a way to make the economics videos more accessible than just talking to the camera, and at least there's something on the screen going on. And a couple of days ago, I uploaded a Substack article around why I think the next 5 to 7 years are critical. And the importance of it is not just for the individuals, but society at large. And there are three things I detailed. I'll link the Substack in the description below if you want to check that out. But the three things I detailed were mass layoffs due to AI, the impact of low birth rates, particularly on pensions, and government's deficit spending. And oh, by the way, I'm flying over London in Flight Sim 2024. And we'll start with the mass layoffs. I'm sure everyone has heard of the numbers that are coming out of mostly the tech firms. They're usually the ones doing the layoffs. So firms like Microsoft, they're not a tech firm, but BMW is not a tech firm, but I think they just announced 8,000 people who will be laid off across their manufacturing company. And I mean, when you just hear those numbers, it's staggering. It's staggering, but we're told it's not a recession. Whatever you do, don't call it a recession. And I hate to say it, but guys, I've been talking about it. I've been talking about this coming. I've detailed how during the pandemic, when they lowered rates to 0%, companies were ecstatic. They just took on loads of debt. They all thought that, the good times are back, so let's hire so many people. And they weren't prudent with it. They were forecasting lots of growth. They were forecasting that, demand is back, so we need to hire as many people as possible. And now it's coming back to bite, because the Fed has raised interest rates and they're keeping it there. At the recent FOMC meeting, that's the US Fed, they haven't lowered rates, they haven't hiked either, but at these levels, it's it's still terrible for the firms who have taken on debt, because they're paying, several orders of magnitude higher amounts of interest expenses. And one thing about labor is a cost. It's a cost to corporations. So once they see the revenues aren't coming in because people aren't spending like that, everyone is loaded up on credit card debt, student loans, auto loans. They're not going to spend as much, and it's something I detailed in my video about inflation, deflation, hyperinflation, and how they occur. And guys, the deflation part is here. The deflation part is here. It's here. And believe me when I say it's not going to be pretty. Oh my word, it's really not going to be pretty. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. Because essentially, one man's debt is another man's asset. And if more corporations and people default on their loans, those are assets on the other side that will be cancelled. So this cascading, this spiraling effect is just going to keep going until it clears out. But then the issue is the governments won't let it clear out. They are not going to let it clear. They will socialize the losses. You might be asking, well, how would they do that? Well, they're going to print. they're going to print to keep the companies that are too big to fail from going bust. They will print. And when they do that, it's going to devalue everyone's savings. The people who save in fiat currencies. Let me go closer so you guys get a better view. It will end up devaluing the fiat currencies. So guys, I'm begging you, if you're saving in dollars, pounds, euros, yen, put some of that into gold and silver. And yes, let me talk about gold and silver real quick. They have come down a lot from the highs. I think silver is down about 50% since its high of about 120 or so, 121. And it's not the time to be panicking. Look, I've spoken about the paper manipulation a lot. I've talked about how they use the paper contracts to manipulate the price. It doesn't shock me. It really doesn't shock me that the prices have come down. There was also an issue with something going on in Asia. I think a hedge fund or something was over leveraged, and they had bought so many paper contracts of silver, and that ended up crashing the market. So, but the fundamentals are still there. Just keep stacking. I mean, during this whole downturn, I've been buying. I've been adding to my stack because I just know what's coming. Oh, by the way, that's Stamford Bridge over there in London. Let me see if I can get closer. Like I said, this is a chill video, so I'm doing this on the fly. No pun intended. And yeah, don't panic. Don't panic when you see the price coming down. It just means it's a phenomenal buying opportunity for you. Yo, they really got the stadium on point. They really got it on point. Alright, what else can we see in London? And of course, not to bring anyone down, but I've also talked about how there will be more wars. I mean, aside from the biblical point of view, when Jesus said there'll be wars and rumors of wars. But we're seeing the never-ending wars happening. You know, Iran, it's always on again, off again. And it's profitable for them. Like, you can't dispute the fact that war is profitable for the military-industrial complex. You simply can't, because that's how it's set up. That's how they get their contracts. So they're incentivized to fund more wars. That's how it works, guys. Simply because of the way fiat currencies are, they can print it ad infinitum. Which is why I keep advocating for gold and silver, because they can't print those. What stadium is that over there? Can't lie, they got the models around London so well. And birth rates, I talked about birth rates. Let me explain why that's going to be an issue for pension funds. So essentially, the way pensions work is that it uses the taxes of existing workers and pays for the pensioners who have currently retired. So, you know what you've got in your pension plan? The money isn't there. It will be there. That's the plan, is that it will be there by the time you retire, and it's funded by the people who will be working at that time. But then what happens if the total number of people in the workforce isn't enough? And you might be wondering, well, Kojo, how could that be? Pensions have been a thing since, I think, the 1960s or so. Well, because birth rates are below the replacement level of 2.1 children per woman. And with a falling population, that means a lower workforce by the time we retire. So I'm 26. I have no expectation that I'll be getting my pension, which is why I invest in gold and silver as my savings. And even if the pensions are given out by the time we are, of retirement age, it's definitely not going to be worth as much as it is today. It will be worth less. Assuming the pound is even a thing. Assuming the pound and the dollar are even a thing by the time we do retire. But gold has been around for thousands of years. Thousands of years, guys. Oh, this is nice. It's been around for thousands of years, and it wouldn't shock me if they're around for thousands more. So don't panic when you see the paper price going down. In fact, don't even look at the paper price right now. Just keep stacking every month. As soon as you get your monthly salary, put a percentage of that into gold and silver. Just straight away. As soon as it hits your account, just put a percentage of it into gold and silver. Don't be greedy. Don't go putting everything you've got into it, because you still have to pay your bills at the end of the day. So, and you have to pay them in the currency. There's London Eye. I was looking for it. There it is. So don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. It is not the time to be greedy. Just be prudent. That's what I'd say. Be prudent with your money. If you're in the UK, you can take advantage of the ISA, but the ISA is like 3.6%. So I'd say use the ISA like a bank account. You can, at least TradingView, what I use TradingView, so I can withdraw from the cash ISA the same day and I get it instantly. So I just use that as my bank account, because if you're just putting it in a standard bank and not earning any yield on it, you're putting yourself at a massive risk, at a massive disadvantage when it comes to inflation. So you might as well just get the yield, even though in real terms the yield is lower. Ooh, my bad. Even though in real terms you're still getting less than the inflation, the true inflation rate. I think that's Tower Bridge over there. Seems to be a lot of players online as well. Seeing a few name tags here and there. So what else? I mean, I keep talking about gold and silver, but there are other options. I wouldn't count real estate as an option, unfortunately, simply because it's just so over leveraged. Particularly in the West, UK, America, people buy homes using, a mortgage, and like I said at the top of this video, as interest rates rise, it increases the borrowing cost of everything, so mortgages will rise as well, the percentage. And if you couple that with people losing their job, well, if you lose your job, you lose your monthly income. It's much harder to service that mortgage cost. So there will be foreclosures. There will be foreclosures. And as that happens, as people sell their homes, they'll be rushing to sell. And if I'm not mistaken, real estate is priced at the margin. So if your neighbor sells his house or her house for less than you've listed it, well, your listing is going to be pulled down with it. Your listing is going to be pulled down. Is why I really think it's going to be a race to the bottom. You just want to stand clear of anything to do with debt. Stand clear of anything to do with debt. And currencies are the other side of debt. In fact, currencies are debt. If you look up the US dollar, or if you have the US dollar in your pocket, pull it out. I know people don't really carry physical cash with them like that, but pull it out and look at the top of your paper note. You'll see it says Federal Reserve note. A note is a debt instrument. And I've had Lynette Zhang on the channel a couple of times, and she explains it so perfectly. Notes are debt instruments. And we're working for corporate debt, we're working for private debt. Central banks are private corporations that are really in bed with the government. So when we're working away, 9 to 5, some people even longer, you're working for corporate debt. Guys, I'm telling you, once you properly deep it, it's so sinister. It's really so insidious, because people are killing themselves with stress, working for debt. They are compromising on their morals based on debt, and that's how they trap you as well. They get you hooked on the credit cards. They get you hooked on all the loans and things you think you own because you've paid for it with credit cards. Which then brings me to that WEF statement, you'll own nothing and be happy. Loads of people think they own their home just because, they signed that mortgage contract, but man, once you stop paying that mortgage, cooked, lights out. It's lights out. And even if you, at least I know in the UK, I'm sure in America it might be similar. But even if you have paid off your home, even if you've paid off your home, guys, you still have the property taxes to pay, the council taxes to pay. And if you don't pay it, well, the government comes and takes you home. So once again, you'll own nothing and be happy. And this is not even to talk about the central bank digital currencies that are being worked on, the digital IDs. I haven't even touched on those yet. I haven't even touched on them yet. Oh man. Honestly, this is why I'm just trying to get out of the West as quickly as I can. I do not want to be here by the time all of this blows up. There's the whole immigration aspect to it as well. They'll start blaming the immigrants. Which stadium is that? Is that... I think it might be Tottenham's. It might be Tottenham's. Or is it Wembley? I'm not sure. Hmm. Hey, if you know, let me know in the comments. I think it might be Tottenham's. It doesn't have... Oh no, it's West Ham! It's West Ham. I see the irons. It's West Ham. The interior is not stellar. It's not at all stellar. But yeah, that's why I'm trying to dip the West. I'm thinking 2-3 years tops. And then that's that. I mean, you can even see how they're trying to pin the whole difficulty around funding social payments on immigration, especially in the UK, because they want to change how the settlement works, the permanent residency works. So now I want no parts of it. No parts of it. I'm trying to I'm trying to head back to Ghana, man. I'm leaving it in God's hands. I'm trying to head back. Alright, let's bring this plane in for landing. Is there any other thing I've missed? I mean, there'll be other videos like this, so I quite like this format actually. Let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, it won't just be London I fly around. It's a big old world, so if you have any particular locations you want me to do, let me know. Also, the reason I'm doing it this way instead of on a stream is because with a game like Flight Sim, you really want to have that. You really want to have a good quality resolution, and I don't think the streams would do it justice. At least for those of you watching. But yeah, now one more thing. I was talking about trying to stay away from debt. It applies on an individual level and also when it comes to investing in stocks. To those of us who prefer to buy stocks, individual stocks, than just passive ETFs, you want to stay away from companies with a high net debt. Ideally, look at ones that have negative net debt. To help you with that, by the way, check out the Stock Evaluator app that I created. It also helps to know what stocks to look for, so it puts all the good stocks on your radar, particularly with the industry tab. I need to do another video as a walkthrough for that. Alright, let's make our way back to Heathrow then, shall we? Where are we? Yeah, stocks with negative net debt, ideally, because they're the ones who will be able to see out the storm. As interest rates rise, they will be less affected by it. Their balance sheet will be less affected by it because they're in a net cash position. You also want to make sure you're looking at stocks in the right industry. Semiconductor industry, the whole AI stuff. With the circular financing going on there, man, I would stay away, but that's just me. None of this is financial advice, by the way. None of it is financial advice. I just be wary of them. They're so expensive as well. I mean, you'll see if you use the stock evaluator app that a lot of them are expensive. And by expensive, I mean the valuations are much higher than the balance sheet would suggest. So, you're better off in. I think someone's flying. Yeah, it sounded like an FA-18. It's going to bring the plane into land. So yeah, I mean, personally, I'm looking at the precious metals space. It may seem like I'm a broken record talking about gold and silver a lot, but like I said, once you understand what's coming, there's generally no alternative. Bitcoin is not an alternative. Like, stop it. Let's be guided. It is not an alternative. We're seeing what's happening with Strategy, formerly called MicroStrategy. They are not an alternative. And that's what I mean. They've also leveraged themselves, taking on lots of debt. You want to stay away from that. The era of risk taking is over, guys. It's over. If you want to truly, and I mean truly, be secure, you have to be prudent. Remember, Wall Street is not your friend. They want you to keep, hitting that FOMO buy with Nvidia. I mean, to be fair, Nvidia's, my tool actually places Nvidia as a fair value. At fair value, it's stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Oracle. Stay away from Oracle. Just stay away from Oracle. A nightmare waiting to happen. But yeah, they're all expensive. They're all very expensive stocks. And the risk to reward on them is quite high. I mean, if you even price them in gold, none of them is actually past their all-time high. They're only at all-time highs because the dollar is losing value. Let me see if I can announce my arrival. To land, baby.
Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510 is 5 miles east, 1900, with India, to land.
Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510, Heathrow Tower, QNH 1018. Make straight in runway 27 right.
Fly straight in runway 27 right. Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510.
One thing I'd recommend everyone do is to actually go and read what has government done to our money. Read that book. Read that book once, twice, 3 times till you get it. By Murray Rothbard.
Cleared ILS runway 27 right approach.
Cleared to land runway 27 right.
It's very accessible. He explains it so easily and so clearly. And also, what has happened before, or what will happen has happened before. It's happened with Weimar, Germany.
Number 2 for landing. Follow the Embraer E170 on final. Wind tree 41 at 5. Cleared to land runway 27 right.
Flaps out.
Clear to land runway 27 right. Number 2 Speedbird 571.
And it's simply just gonna happen again. And China's stacking a lot of gold, by the way. People are sleeping on what China's doing. Coming at it really high. But they're stacking loads of gold while the paper price is still dropping. So you ask yourself, what does China know that? What do they know that the West doesn't? Oh, we've come in very high. What do they know that the West doesn't? They're also quietly stacking silver. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? This Oh man, the turbulence from the
10 go around.
Oh, they've asked me to go around. Are you kidding me? Hey, that's hilarious. The turbulence from the Airbus. Is that an Airbus? Yeah.
Next taxiway.
I think that was another online player.
Heathrow Tower. Speedbird 288. 12 miles north. Inbound ILS runway.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Speedbird 288.
Obviously, we should have crashed, but you know, there's no crash mechanics in this game.
Cleared ILS runway 27 right approach.
Going around. Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510.
Speedbird 571. Exit runway when
Yeah, it's quite cool. It's quite cool it happened.
cleared ILS runway.
Alright, it's gonna go on slightly longer.
Speedbird 288.
I want to make sure we end the video on the land.
Speedbird 571. Contact ground on 121.855. Speedbird 256. Turn next taxiway.
Going to 121.855. Speedbird 571.
Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510. Follow the aircraft on the runway. Wind tree 39 at
Alright.
5. Cleared to land runway 27 right.
Cleared to
Thank you
land
very
runway
much.
27 right. Kojo Air 17 Whiskey Lima, November 5510.
Speedbird 256. Turn next taxiway.
So yeah, I'm not making this video to cause a panic or anything. As you can tell, I'm quite chill about it because I've done the preparation. Is to get people to prepare. Because to say that there's something any one person can do to change the direction of travel,
Turn next taxiway.
I think would be very arrogant. It would be very arrogant. This thing is bigger than one person, but we can definitely influence what comes after. If more people hold precious metals, we can have a say. So many online players in Heathrow, good lord. We can have a say in what comes next.
Speedbird 256.
And
Contact ground on
I mean, I never like to say I'm 100% certain, but I'm quite sure China is going to be the leader. China will probably end up being the global leader, and with that,
18 miles east.
that might be why they're stacking so much gold.
Speedbird 801. Heathrow Tower. QNH 1018. Cleared ILS runway 27 right approach. 121.705 for Speedbird 256.
Alright.
Cleared ILS runway 27 right approach. Speedbird 801.
Nice and easy. Good lord, man. These Airbuses. Alright, that's where we'll leave it, guys. I hope this video has been of some use to you. Don't panic. Don't panic. It gets better. We just have to get over this deflationary period, survive it, and then you can thrive in the hyperinflationary period when hopefully you buy some gold and silver, because that's going to go up in nominal price. It will still buy you the same things, but then if you can buy more than what other people can, that's essentially what being rich is. It's all relative. So you want to make sure your purchasing power is at least like that, while societies goes like that, because they've unfortunately not done the work, and they've not watched videos like this to know that if they save in currencies, they're losing purchasing power over time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Check out my Substack, become a channel member today. Check out the stock evaluator tool that I've built. Consider subscribing to the silver tier there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.